and ignore them. But then
it's the 10 people were as it continues.
We could read the teleprompter.
Sheep on the
behind. Gordon went behind the wall with a broken radiator. Jarrett survived, only to blow up a few laps later. Ernie Irvin inherited the lead, but got caught up in some grease on the racetrack. Then Ricky Rudd became the heir apparent, battling Mark Martin down to the wire and earning his first victory of 1997. It just goes to show you, don't ever turn off TNN Motorsports until the fat lady sings.
comes. There he goes.
It is a super speedway. It is a short track. It is a road course. Altogether, it is Pocono International Raceway, a 2.5-mile triangular layout outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A racetrack that has seen NASCAR run here for years, but the speeds are quicker than ever, and the grandstands are full for the running of the Pocono 500. Welcome to Pocono, everybody. I'm Eli Gold, joined by Dr. Dick Berggren and Buddy Baker, a gentleman who won the very first Busch pole here for a Winston Cup race back in 1974. 22 miles an hour slower than they're going today. What are these guys dealing with that you didn't have to worry about?
Well, the one thing they do know, they have to shift on this racetrack. It's almost like a road course in certain parts. High banked in 1 and 2, flat corners on the other end of the speedway. Use all your driving techniques to get around this one racetrack. When I went out there, I didn't have any idea what we needed to do. Harry Hyde come to me and he said, "What's it like?" And I said, "You ain't gonna believe it." Very exciting racetrack.
It really is different, Dick Berggren. That's the only word we hear in the garage.
Yeah, it really is, Eli. This is a 2.5-mile super speedway, but many of the teams have brought short track cars here. Why? The turns are so different, so unique. Get the car so it goes into turn 1 well, it may not come out of turn 3 well. Drives the chassis guys crazy. And the transmission and gear guys, they had to come up with a transmission that could be shifted at 170 miles an hour going down the long front straightaway so the engines didn't blow up. As for the drivers, they'll spend all day hunting, looking for the best possible line as it moves around. As for the crowd, every seat is full. The unique challenge of Pocono has brought the fans here to see which driver and which team can handle it best.
The field, as you see, beginning to roll off the line. And let's take a look at today's starting lineup. Bobby Hamilton, his 3rd career Busch pole, and Dale Jarrett, who won here in July of '95. Ward Burton, best start of the year, and Greg Sachs going in the number 40 car this weekend. Bill Elliott with 4 Pocono wins, and Ricky Rudd, last week's winner. Terry Labonte, consecutive start, number 550. And Darrell Waltrip with 4 Pocono wins. And he's a guy who's been really confident in the garage this weekend, Darrell Waltrip.
And he has every right to be confident. He always runs well here, but he's been very quick in all the practice sessions that we've had. They've got a good strategy. They're going to go conservative with the engine, try to keep it together.
Wally Dallenbach, Mark Martin together on row number 7. Hut Strickland in row number 8 with last July's winner, Rusty Wallace. And how about Jeff Burton? He's the best super speedway racer of the year, Buddy Baker.
You know, they brought a car up here, Eli, that they run at Martinsville. Buddy Parrott made the call. He said that car will win the race up there. He's very confident, and I think that Jeff Burton is definitely ready for this race.
Row number 11, you see. Further back in row number 12, Bobby Labonte, last week's Busch pole winner. And you know, Jeff Bodine has led more laps than anyone here at Pocono. There's David Green and Joe Nemechek. Had he turned into speed, Nemechek, on the first day, he'd be starting 3rd instead of way back in the field as he is. There you see row number 14. Further back, Jeff Green and Kenny Wallace. Ted Musgrave. Michael Waltrip finished 2nd here in June of '88. Jimmy Spencer was 8th here in 1996. Row number 18. A couple of Alabamians there. Row number 19. Brett Bodine and Derek Cope. Kenny Schrader, normally see him up front. He's got 5 Busch poles here, but he starts 39th today. And row number 41, first career top 10 last week for Mike Skinner and Dick Trickle. Interestingly, not qualifying today were 3 guys. Chad Little, Billy Standridge, Dave Marcus. Do you know that had any of those turned in the speed that they did this weekend back just 3 years ago, they would have won the Busch pole. That's how these speeds have accelerated over the years. Now the AutoZone race analysis, brought to you by the more than 1,575 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts, I should say, in auto parts. And there you see all of the numbers pertaining to today's event. We'll have in-car coverage for you today from Morgan Shepherd. They have finalized that sponsorship with R&L Carriers. They're aboard for the rest of the year. Mark Martin coming from the middle of the field for you. Dale Jarrett starts up front, right behind the pace truck and alongside Bobby Hamilton. And Bill Elliott, a 4-time winner here at Pocono International Raceway. He, too, will be giving us a ride around this 2.5-mile layout. As far as this Ford track description, brought to you by the Ford F-150, strength after strength after strength. There you see the interesting numbers. You don't even know where to start, guys, because if you look at the front straightaway, 0.7 of a mile, the longest single straightaway in all of NASCAR racing.
Also, one of the widest front straightaways in all of auto racing. There's room for cars to run 4 deep down the front straightaway, making it very unusual because you have to get back in a single file to go through turns 1 and 2.
We are set to go green. The flag man this weekend in the alternating process is Jimmy Howell. Jimmy being backed up by Rodney Wise, leans out over the field. And we're glad you're with us here on TNN Motorsports. We're underway, the first of 200 laps. Everybody, and here comes Greg Sachs now challenging for second. Sachs, he said he's got a car that can get the job done this weekend.
He's driving with a broken foot. He broke his left foot in a practice accident several weeks ago. It's not in a cast right now, but he's concerned about being able to use the brake. Well, he needs to use it in places like that, getting in the turn.
And you made a very interesting observation. They do not use the clutch on this racetrack. They have transmissions that you just pull into gear, but using that brake with that left foot, and it's swollen up also, so he's in a bit of pain there.
Ian Moore, by the time this day is over, and he knows that. He knows tonight's going to be a painful night, but he is out here anyway.
And now back to the start-finish line. 1 lap complete. I love that shot, don't you?
I do, too. I think the whole world loves that shot, and you can only see that picture at Pocono where they spread out going down that great big 3,700-foot front straightaway.
And a high-speed hairpin there, turn number 1, with the most banking of any of the turns, 14 degrees. Now they're on what we call the Long Pond straightaway that ties turn 1 to turn 2. Long Pond is the village in which we are sitting right now. There's 3 wide on that Long Pond straightaway, and Hut Strickland's getting shuffled out.
Well, Hut realizes there's really not an outside groove that you can run fast in, so he was trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack, but he didn't get her done.
Well, really, too, he wants to be sure that he can preserve that car, keep it in one piece for the end of this race. Easy to get in trouble here at Pocono.
You can see him coming off turn 3 here towards the front straightaway. You really come off there with a lot of speed, and that one place on the racetrack is where the front end on the race car will not turn the way you want it to, and it's real hard to keep it out of the outside wall.
Into the first turn, that's the steepest bank here at Pocono. It's 14 degrees. Everything else is less than that.
In the old days, buddy, you remember, too, everybody used to set up for that first turn, but not anymore.
Well, you have to give up somewhere, and the fastest place on the racetrack is really coming through the short chute and trying to make this long sweeping corner, which is right here is the tunnel turn. Now, this is the short chute that I'm talking about. As we go down into the next corner, you'll see the corner seems like it never ends. You just keep bending. Already into the turn there, right down on the bottom of the track. You're still turning, still turning, still turning. You see, right now, the 24, Jeff Gordon, is really happy to ride right there with Greg Sachs because he has great straightaway speed. That car is really hauling it there with Greg Sachs in it.
Greg, who has run here in modifieds over the years, not just the full-bodied NASCAR Winston Cup machines.
Oh, he's loose.
There goes Saxy.
Oh.
caution in turn 1, lap number 8. It'll get to the leaders as they cross the stripe at lap 9. No sooner had we been bragging on Greg Sachs, and around she went in the corner.
Eli was just carrying so much speed in the center part of the corner there. The back end started around. He tried to catch it. Around it went. And once you lose it there, you're going to the outside wall.
If you're curious, she is filling in this week for Robbie Gordon, as we've been mentioning over the last week or so. Robbie might return from his Indy 500 injuries next week. It might be the week after. It's basically a wait-and-see situation. But that's why Greg Sachs was filling in. And again, another look is certainly worthwhile, buddy.
Okay, Greg Sachs in the 40 there. You'll see the back right here. Start around. He's in trouble there. He steers into the slide. The back end just comes right on around. Now he goes out. Oh, hard lick in the outside wall.
Going, gone.
You see the roof flaps up? Wow.
That was a brand new car. He did have his name on the roof of that thing and had a lot of hope that he might someday wind up driving for Felix Sabates. A lot of conversation about Felix and his sometime IndyCar driver, Robbie Gordon, and whether he's coming back or not.
I just hope that Greg didn't hit his left foot when he went into the wall there. It was on the driver's side, and I tell you, when you have a broken foot and it slaps the inside of the car like that, sometimes it really, really hurts.
And some of the doctors, at least, who have seen him, wanted him to have a cast, but he said he just couldn't drive the car that way. And he said, you know how we racers are. We've just got to race. So he is kind of doctoring himself, at least to a degree.
10 laps complete. Unseasonably cool here this weekend in the Poconos.
Brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By the more than 1,675 AutoZone stores across America, the best parts in auto parts. By Havoline Formula 3 motor oil, add more life to your car. And by MCI. Is this a great time or what?
Introducing the 1997 Miller Lite stock car. Sure beats other sedans. The new Miller Lite Indy car. No radio, no heat, but hey, look at that handling. And if it's acceleration you're after, take a look at the Miller Lite Top Fuel Dragster. It leaves everything else at the light. Every Miller Lite car comes with our 16-second roadside assistance plan. We say, shoot, shop, and compare.
There's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. And when drivers take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common, the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn. So which brand do the top drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
Michael came onto the scene in IndyCars as a winner. I'm very proud of the fact that he's carrying on the Andretti name. I'll never forget the first really competitive pass that he did on me. We banged wheels a little bit, and he was gone. Adios, Dada.
The Andrettis rely on the same Havoline Formula 3 motor oil you can buy right off the shelf.
That's my boy.
And for your cooling system, get Havoline Extended Life Antifreeze.
A storm rolling in, and Mom's not due for another hour.
Hey! What about me?
A pretty tight spot, unless you have MCI.
32E!
The kids dial one special number, and that one call goes to Mom's office, then to her cell phone, then right to her.
Get in, I'm so glad you called.
And Mom rolls in right before the storm.
You wouldn't let me in the phone booth, Mom. There's no room, you dweeb. Dork, dweeb, dork.
Finally, celebrities who actually use the product. Team Monte Carlo. Chevrolet, the cars more champions trust.
300 yards past the restart, and look at Mark Martin and everybody going as way wide as you can here on this 6-lane wide main straightaway at Pocono International Raceway.
You can see last week's winner there in the 10 car. running in 4th place now. Ricky Rudd really loves this racetrack. As a matter of fact, most road racers get around here very, very well.
Ricky finished 2nd here in each of the races last year.
Look at Darrell Waltrip. Did you see that going 3 wide?
DW likes his place. He has 4 wins here, tying him with Bill Elliott.
There he is.
That's some fast company DW's putting away there. That's Dale Jarrett. He just got by as we were speaking then. They're heading towards the front straightaway, and you see Darrell is not giving up ground to anyone.
Darrell and Bill Elliott and the late Tim Richmond, each with 4 career wins here at Pocono. That's tops. That's best for anybody.
In fact, Tim Richmond won this race 10 years ago. 5 years ago was Alan Kowicki won this race.
That win for Tim Richmond, as memory serves, one of 6 for Hendrick Motorsports here between Jeff Gordon and even Jeff Bodine. A lot of folks might forget that his win here at Pocono came for Hendrick Motorsports.
And Terry Labonte.
Indeed.
Eli, the 3rd car there, Jeff Burton, he is not, Ward Burton, pardon me. I get these guys mixed up. Ward's the one that talks a little slower, drives very hard, though. You can see him doing very well around the racetrack. He's shifting 3 times instead of the standard 2 like everyone else.
The standard shifting procedure, and as you see the battle for the lead heating up now with Gordon chasing down Hamilton, the standard shift points are right here. We'll notice them right now. Right there is 1 shift into overdrive, and then roughly right there, another shift just prior to going to the corner.
Let me touch on that. When you're really racing very hard, sometimes you actually go down into the center part of the corner there before you make the shift. You really want to roll in there as fast as you can and don't want to shift down and make it slow down too much.
That's 12th place right there on the screen. Ernie Irvin and Morgan Shepherd side by side. Our friends at Napa bringing you the score rundown across the top of the screen. At Napa, we keep America running. And there they go around Morgan Shepherd.
That's Jeff Burton.
Indeed it was. Look at that. 3 wide again. What's the deal on Morgan, Glenn? He can't seem to get back to the inside.
Well, they've been fighting a little bit of a push all weekend, Eli. They tried a bigger sway bar, and he just hasn't been able to get the car to turn exactly where he wanted to. But still, you got to remember, he has moved from 20th up to 12th. He's back to about 15th now. The car running very well. Interesting story. In fact, a great story on this new sponsor they got in R&L Carriers. We announced it a couple of times that they were looking for sponsorship, as did everybody covering the races. And back in Ohio, Mark Jones, the parts manager at R&L Carriers, was listening. He went to his boss, Robbie Robertson, whose father owns that company, pitched the idea to him. Robbie went to his dad and said, "Dad, what about getting involved in this?" 1 day and a half later, after they contacted Richard Jackson, who owns that car, they had the deal put together. That has enabled them to go on racing. They were just about to have to park that car.
Yeah, that's great news. We were talking about that all in the garage area this week. Here goes Hut Strickland, who had a good run going last week at Dover in the number 8 machine. Couldn't quite make the move around Morgan Shepherd. They're running in 14th, 15th, 16th position now.
You see Jeremy Mayfield in the 37 there. A good run last week in Dover, 4th, and actually had the 26th fastest time of all, and would have started 9th if he'd had the lap he had yesterday.
He's just 57.
The first day.
Yeah, he's just 57 points out of 10th place in the standings now.
I'll tell you what, you watch that number 8 car today, because he is going to be fast. He has the same car he had in this race last year. He led 19 laps in that car. He is one of the guys who is going to try to do it by shifting twice. He'll shift on this long front straightaway, and then again he'll shift it into overdrive on the backstretch, the long pond straightaway. By doing that, they get to run a little bit more gear in the car that gives them a little bit more poke out of the corner. The problem, when you're going into that tunnel turn, if you have to concentrate on changing gears as well as finding your line and all the rest of the cars around you, it can be more than any human brain can cope with. So Strickland will have his mind filled with lots of things today.
If they had a touch just then, it would have been more than anyone could cope with. That was awful close there.
Mayfield in the number 37 car.
17th position. Look at the hustle to get back in single file if they can going into 1. Some guys just can't make it.
Ooh, Joe Nemechek really got down low there. You can see right there. The 36 car of Derek Coates is trying to go with Nemechek. Your draft here is just exactly like you do at Daytona. There's a lot of draft down the straightaway.
And Nemechek has been fast the whole time here at Pocono, except for one lap. It happened to be his time trial lap when the engine let go. So he had to play catch-up. He has had to start more in the back of the field than he otherwise would have, given the speed of that number 42 car.
There goes Derek Cope now inside of Musgrave. They're battling back at 19.
Yep, Musgrave's another one who had a bad time trial lap. Blamed himself, said he just overdrove the car and said there's a lot more in this race car than my time trial shows, and promised that he would be passing cars today, and indeed he is.
Now up front, here goes Jeff Gordon. He puts the challenge on Bobby Hamilton. They're working the Long Pond straightaway to the tunnel turn, and Jeff Gordon goes in front at lap number 19. So he worked and worked and worked himself up to the front. No surprise, though, these two men, well, not that guy, but the two guys on the track were quickest in practice yesterday.
In 1996, Ford tore up the tracks of NASCAR. Wrapped up 2 Trans Am championships. Took one off-road title after another. And this Ford Indy car won more races than any other Indy car. That kind of winning technology makes its way into the Ford you can drive. In other words, when we win, we make a big production out of it.
Hold it, Harry. You know you can't use Duralube fuel treatment in your Indy car. It's an unfair advantage.
I'm not allowed to use this product in my Indy car, but in my road car, I want the Duralube advantage.
Duralube is scientifically formulated to clean, condition, and protect your fuel system for a smoother running engine with more power and less harmful emissions. Duralube fuel treatment, tomorrow's technology today.
Let's be honest. We give our oil to these guys because everything we learned about how oil performs on the track helps us make better oil for you. But some folks already know that. Like ASC Certified Master Mechanics, America's best. They choose Valvoline over any other motor oil. So the next time you need oil, ask your mechanic. And if he doesn't recommend Valvoline, maybe you should be looking for a new mechanic. Take the wheel on the new Valvoline website. It's worth the ride.
Monsoon, a premium audio system. You turn it up and get drenched. Available in select new cars and trucks like the Pontiac Firebird and the Hummer. Monsoon, power, attitude, audio for the road.
First, it won a U.S. patent. Then the incredible split fire swiftly ignited the passions of drivers around the world. Now you can get guaranteed split fire performance for just $3.99. Hurry, it's the biggest savings ever.
To understand our dedication to keeping your car running its best, visit your team of pros at Big A Auto Parts. They'll have you back on the road in no time. Big A, America's parts pros.
Bobby Hamilton is back in front. Second is Ward Burton. Then there's Labonte and Rudd and Waltrip. And where's Gordon? Look all the way back, middle of your screen. Jeff Gordon is now backslid to 13th. Glenn Jarrett, what's the deal?
Well, first, right after he took the lead, Eli, he radioed in and said he had a vibration in the car, got very loose when he went out front. Now they think they have a flat or a leaking right rear tire. Right rear is going down. He is going, they're going to bring him in. They're going to change right side tires and put 1 can of fuel. He will be in on the next lap, next time by, and it will be a 4th tire change now. They're not certain which tire it is, so they're going to change them all.
Eli, it looks like maybe the right rear was a little bit loose, but you can see the car moving around quite a bit now.
Here's what happened when they swapped the lead around. Remember, Gordon had taken the lead at lap number 20?
He just went up the racetrack.
Yeah, but he's aware that there's something wrong. He never comes back. You can see Terry Labonte going by him, and he never got back in the throttle. He knows there's something wrong with the chassis on that car.
And then when Earnhardt went by, look in Earnhardt's car. You see him pointing and waving. He's pointing towards the tire to let Jeff know that from Earnhardt's perspective, he's able to see a tire going down. You see how Dale is pointing emphatically? Meanwhile, there's also a problem for Bobby Hamilton. Problems for Bobby Hamilton, the race leader. Are we back at Dover in the final 50 laps again? Gordon is on the pit lane while Hamilton is having problems. Glenn Jarrett.
Okay. The right front is going down on Bobby Hamilton's car. Gordon's in. They've got the right sides changed. I'm going to try to get a look at those right side tires. The left sides are on, and he's down and away. And we'll move right next door, waiting on Bobby Hamilton to come in. Man, I can't believe the luck these guys are having.
Seems like we just never even left Dover. This is picking right back up. Bobby Hamilton there being bypassed by everybody.
Smoke. You can see the smoke off the right front of Bobby Hamilton. He's very lucky if he don't tear the right front fender completely off his car. You can see the rubber starting to fly off the right front.
And that's the lead there. You saw Ward Burton and Labonte. Ward's first.
Look at the right front fender there.
Yeah.
Shades of Rusty Wallace lost the race here a few years ago just that same way. Had the race in hand. Right front tire came down, shredded the fender, also shredded an oil line. Oh.
Tough break. Glenn Jarrett, these guys had the car to beat.
Oh, it looked like it, Eli, without a doubt. As you could obviously see, the right front went down on Bobby. Very strange that the two cars running out front, you got to feel like if there might be something on the racetrack. They made no contact with anybody. I wonder if there was something on the racetrack that maybe they missed from Greg Sachs. They changed right side tires only, and boy, the right front tire is disintegrated.
They're the locations for the NASCAR Thunder stores. They are open in Atlanta, Winston-Salem, Knoxville, Dallas, and the newest location open now at the Kenwood Town Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. A lot of other locations to be announced this year. We'll give you those details as they become known. Matt Yoakum, you got a man there visiting with you.
The man in black, Dale Earnhardt, comes to a stop. It's going to be a 4-tire stop. Dale's complaining the car is so loose he can't even drive it into the corner. He's having some aero problem with some other cars, loosening him up, going into the corners, taking air out the spoiler. They're going to correct his problem with a little bit of air pressure adjustments and adding about a 1.5 round of wedge. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Matt, we're in Ricky Rudd's pits. I just talked to crew chief Jim Long. He said Ricky says the car is just a tick tight. But then he asked Ricky Rudd the question, what do you think about 2 tires? Ricky didn't say anything, so we're going to find out here in just a second.
Other pit stops, lap 35. Rusty Wallace is in. Wally Dallenbach is in. Nemechek is stopping as well. All of those are scheduled stops. As you see, Ward Burton, the race leader, due to come in any moment now as he tries to put Jeff Gordon a lap down. But remember, Ward's going to have to stop here in just a moment.
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon got caught by a lap car as he started out of the pits, and Jeff had to go very wide. And you see Ward Burton almost a lap on the 24 car of Jeff Gordon.
But the 22 is going to have to pit soon, and Gordon will not because when he
how
came
about now? Here he comes.
Yeah, that's real soon.
It'll be lap 36 for the NBNA Pontiac. Boy, there's a little dance right there for Ward coming in.
You have to slow them down. There's a speed limit on the pit roads here, and you cannot exceed it. If you do, they'll bring you right back in and make you lose a lap.
Let's cover the stops.
Well, Eli, Ward has brought the MBNA Pontiac in. This also will be 4 tires and fuel. The car's a little bit tight, so you can see right now they're taking a little bit of fight out of the right rear of the car. Just a little bit too tight. It's very overcast right down here right now. A lot cooler than when the race started, so it's evident that some of the cars have tightened up. Ward wants his just a little bit free. A little bit of problem there. A lot of fuel spillage and a little bit of trouble getting the left side up. Oh, a little bit of a slow pit stop. 25.5. That will hurt him. We look for Terry Labonte to come in next time by.
Good stop there for Dale Jarrett, 5 seconds quicker than the one that Glenn was describing for Ward Burton's team. We've also seen Johnny Benson pit. Kenny Schrader has been in. Here comes Ricky Rudd right now. Rudd and Darrell Waltrip. That wasn't the cleanest getaway right there in the Yates pit.
No, it was not. He had a lot of problem getting any traction at all. Darrell Waltrip was running in 4th place. He's really got it together today, Eli.
He does. They were so very confident. And Darrell, as I told you, winningest driver in this racetrack's history.
He's completed more laps here than anybody else. 15,000 miles he's running. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Dick David Hatfield throws the jack underneath the 10 car. They are not going to make any changes at all. David Anthony on the front tires. Danny Martin on the rear. They have a little bit of trouble on the left front, but now he's gone.
So he does a burnout leaving the pit lane. Ricky Rudd does. Last week's winner at Dover. Kyle Petty is on the pit lane now. Terry Labonte is expected here anytime now, and here he peels off the racetrack. So this stop will be at lap number 38 for Terry Labonte, and everything is going to cycle on around now for a new race leader. Back to Glenn Jarrett.
And Labonte brings the Kellogg Chevy in. Eli, he's going for 4 tires of fuel also. I asked Gary Dehart if they would make any chassis adjustments. He just looked at me and said, nope, 4 tires and fuel. So evidently Terry likes the way his car is now. Good stop on the right side. Boy, the guys got around really quick. Hope we got a clock on this one. Yes, we do. I want to see how fast it is. A little bit of trouble on the left side. Down and away. I got it just about 19.9. Very good pit stop for Terry Labonte under green.
40 of 200 laps complete. The good-looking hamburgers, but I don't know about that guy.
Is that the right size battery for my car? It doesn't seem to fit.
Don't worry, we'll make it fit. We've been doing this a long time.
It's not going in. Just keep hitting it.
I'm not comfortable with we'll make it fit.
Why not? If it fits, it fits.
It's perfect. Good job.
Pep Boys has the right battery at the right price. 31,000 items at the guaranteed low price, tires and service too. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
In racing, the engine is everything.
What? It's the driver.
A driver will never see a finish line without a great engine.
The greatest engine will never see a victory lap without a great driver.
At least they agree on Havoline Formula 3 motor oil, the same oil you can buy right off the shelf. And also try Havoline Extended Life Antifreeze.
The engine's the first thing to the finish line.
Not in Indy cars.
There's a certain amount of pride that comes with doing it yourself, and Peerless makes it easy. So go ahead, let everyone know. I installed my own faucet this weekend. I installed a Peerless, the do-it-for-yourself faucet.
Get ready. You're headed for a crash course in TNN Motor Madness every Friday night live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on TNN Motor Madness.
There is a world where everyone sees things your way, where your wish for an easier way is granted, and you don't need instructions to figure it out. Here, life is good, because now we're working harder than ever to bring you the things you want, so that everything we offer can be used in a way that's best for you. We've done that for you for quite some time, and we're getting better at it every day. TCI. Now, there's a better way.
Hey, Monica Brant here with a brand new beat from Beast Records.
Checking out the year's hottest jam. This is Sweat Mix Volumes 1 and 2.
These are 2 monster records, perfect for workouts and parties because the music is nonstop.
Sweat Mix Volumes 1 and 2, the year's hottest vibe.
For the closest Blockbuster, call 1-800-883-0362.
Bill Elliott on pit road, lap number 57. He had problems on the racetrack, brake related. Let's take a look at what happened and bring you up to speed.
Well, he's going down into turn 1, and just about right there, you'll see some smoke fly out. This is where the problem happened. Now he has to get back to the pits, and the right rear was jumping 3 inches, 4 inches off the ground as he started down pit road.
This now is for the lead. Oh, and Bobby Labonte has brought caution onto the speedway. Turn number 1, there's caution as Dale Jarrett and Darrell Waltrip battle back to the stripe. Caution for the second time. Lap number 57 here at Pocono International Raceway. So Bill Elliott had his problems, couldn't even stop on pit road. He went right through his pits, and the crew had to come out and basically catch the car to push it back into his pit stall. And there you see them going to work now on the right rear.
That is liable to be a lengthy stop to try to fix it. Steve, what's going on?
Dick, it is a broken brake rotor. As we said on lap 11, he said, I feel a vibration in the brake pedal. They are going to try and ride it out, but as you can see, the hood's up, and they're going to try and get it in, but they're pretty much done for now.
So Dale Jarrett now is the race leader as we are under caution. Darrell Waltrip led lap 53 through 57, and now here's why we're under caution.
Oh, Bobby Labonte's going sideways into the grass on the back straightaway. You can see a lot of damage to the front valence and all as he bounces through the bumps on the back straightaway there. Nose of the car gets a lot of damage as he's in there. The other thing, for one person, bad luck. For Jeff Gordon, a tremendous chance to make up a lot of lost ground that he had to make early in the race.
All right, he's now cycled back around to 6th place and is very much in the hunt with everybody else as we punch up here for this upcoming restart. So the field under caution, and this should bring everybody back to a normal pit stop sequence as well. Everybody should be coming in here at lap number 60 when they come back towards the stripe, and that will bunch everything back up together again. Second caution, the first came out at lap 9. Greg Sachs spun in turn 1, and now here at lap 57, Bobby Labonte spinning off the corner. So let's see who does what now on these stops. We'll give you a look at Darrell Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, and Terry Labonte. Matt Yoakum, you're first.
55 miles an hour. Darrell Waltrip comes to a stop. Jeff Hammond told the guys, nice, calm, patience. Don't make any mistakes. It's under caution. No adjustments on Darrell Waltrip's car. He likes the way the car is handling. He says, we've got a good car today. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Matt. A chassis adjustment on the left rear of Terry Labonte's car. Also cleaning the windshield. A lot of grease and grime on the windshield. I don't see how Terry can hardly see. Left side's up. He's counting away at 19.13. Let's go to Steve Burns with Dale Jarrett.
Glenn, Dale Jarrett's having the same problem. His windshield was absolutely filthy. John Callis cleaned it up. They had a very good pit stop. They did not make any chassis adjustment for Dale Jarrett.
A time now for Ray Evernham and Larry McReynolds to chat just a bit. All brought to you by Peerless Faucets, the do-it-for-yourself faucet.
I'm home during the winter. I pick up the paper, and a headline said, Larry McReynolds goes to Earnhardt, leaves Ford, leaves Irvin, goes to Earnhardt, and I keep thinking, man, what happened? What for? Larry, show me the money.
So definitely, not one set, 2 sets.
Exactly. You know, and these are great gifts, or get yourself a set. And for me, you definitely have to get